We've heard of the Chevy Cavalier. Get ready for a Toyota badge Cavalier? Yes, please bear with me. It does exist. I know, I know it doesn't make sense right now, but let me explain. Let's take a look at how, and more importantly, why this abomination was created. So, American cars has never really found their footing in Japanese soil. But that didn't stop GM or Toyota in the 90s to try it yet again. There are different opinions on why American cars usually flop in Japan, but I'm not qualified to answer this. So, at the time, America was getting flooded with Japanese imports, and those imports were starting to chip away at the Big Three's market share. And rightfully so. These imports were built to better quality and more affordable than what Ford, Chrysler, and the other company that died in 2009 were offering. But the US was salty and wanted to shift the tides back in their favor. GM became interested in expanding overseas, and Toyota wanted to offer the Japanese market a more American-style car. Enter the Toyota Cavalier. But why did Toyota choose the Cavalier? Even today, I think that's a valid question. Of all the options, the Cavalier, well, it did have multiple four-cylinder engines in its lineup. Japanese manufacturers were putting American cars to shame, at least when it came to smaller cars. Toyota and GM came to an agreement that the Cavalier would be rebadged as a Toyota and sold at Toyota's Hansha dealership, which was kind of a big deal for GM, as building a dealer network would have been costly for them. To make the car more appealing to the Japanese market, it was converted to right-hand drive. Otherwise, it wasn't doctored up much. Changes to the Cavalier's turn signal stock were made to comply with Japanese regulations, and amber turn signals were thrown on as well. The 2.4-liter that powered the car was relatively large compared to other JDM offerings. However, the price was cheap. At entry level, the 1996 Toyota Cavalier cost just over $9,900, or 1.49 million yen. Prices that low were usually only seen in smaller cars in Japan at that time. The fact that Toyota was marketing the Cavalier as a sort of luxury American car at a cheap price meant even more reason to buy one for the Japanese public. But Toyota wasn't done there. Their racing branch, Toyota Racing Development, modified a Cavalier as a sports car, and yes, quotes around sports car. However, a JGTC GT300 class Toyota Cavalier was raced between 1998 and 1999 using a 2-liter Toyota engine. Over the course of its racing career, the car saw its best performance in the 5th round of races, where it achieved 4th place. Unfortunately, sales were still in the toilet. Customers being skeptical about parts being available, if true, were valid. Toyota's per-year sales goal was 20,000, but they pulled out of the 5-year agreement 1 year early, as they managed to sell a measly 36,228 units in all. So, while the idea sounded great on paper, it makes some sense to me that it failed. Yes, it was affordable, and while both Toyota and GM tried to market it well, it was sort of difficult to go up against the ever-reliable Honda Civic and even Toyota's own Corolla. There was simply no room or need for the Cavalier, in Japan at least. While it's sort of a shame that it failed, fuck Chevy though, overall it didn't impact the companies too badly. They still did some business together later on, with the Pontiac Vibe / Toyota Matrix. But I don't think an amazing company like Toyota should lower itself to associate with a company like Chevy. That's probably why Toyota is now struggling with quality issues. It is sad that it failed, but some things just don't pan out. I have to give them credit for trying though. With that, stay hydrated, take care of yourself and your loved ones, and peace.